Good morning.
Bruno Fernandes signing his new contract. How important do you think that is for the club to tie him down longer term and also reward his performances in the 2 years he's been here?
Yeah, I think that's very good news for the club, for the fans, the supporters, also for Bruno, I think, to know that he will be here for the next 5 years, I suppose. I mean, there's no doubt that he's a very important player for this club and for this team. And as I said, that's great news. I already congratulated him yesterday when we saw each other after his return from the World Cup qualifier. And as we all know, he played well in the second game. I watched both games on TV and scored the two most important goals to qualify for the World Cup.
Harry Maguire's been in the news obviously this week. What have you said to Harry since his return from international duty? Have you had to have a conversation with him?
Not yet, but I speak regularly since I'm here, so he knows my position towards him. He's been a very valuable player and the captain of the team and the club, and also my captain. So I didn't understand what was going on actually at Wembley, but I'm pretty sure that this will not happen in our stadium. With the Red Army behind the team and the club, and also behind their captain. For me, he's a very important player. He's been playing well for Manchester United and for England in the last couple of years. And therefore I think Gareth Southgate said something after the game, and Harry Kane. So for me, I didn't watch the game actually, but I heard what had happened before the game there when they announced the starting lineup. Difficult to understand.
What do you say to fans who are contemplating booing him again? What would you say to them?
Well, I don't speak to them in person actually, but I'm pretty sure that this will not happen in our stadium, as I said, and that it happened in an international game is something pretty unusual.
Ralph, do you understand why Harry is such a kind of centre of attention? Because he does get a lot of attention from Man United fans, social media. There's a lot of opinion about Harry, maybe more than a lot of other players.
I don't know. I don't think that this is a personal thing that has got anything to do with Harry himself. We all know, or you know probably better than I do, that there were one or two other players who have been criticized in the last not only months but also in the last 1 or 2 years. For example, Fred, for me a very important player as well for this team, a very valuable player, regularly playing in the starting 11 for Brazil. And again, I also watched his 2 games, or his first game. He played in the first game from the start and did well. I don't know, maybe it's still got to do with the high expectations around this club, and that maybe people just tend to compare with former legends or former big players. I don't know. Maybe it's got to do with that. But I can only tell you both players, Fred, you can also speak about Scotty, and Harry, they are both important players and players with the right attitude.
Just at the start of the international break, Paul Pogba did an interview where he said that he's not satisfied at the 5 years that he's spent at the club, and it was interpreted as him saying that he basically wasted some of the best years of his career. Can you understand that sentiment, and do you think that will shape his decision and what he will do at the end of the season?
Well, I don't think I've got enough to do now to prepare the team for the next game, for tomorrow's game, and another important one. And I don't think it makes sense to now interpret or just judge what he has maybe said in an interview. That doesn't make sense. This is something that you can do if you want, but for me it's only important to judge him. I also heard that he had maybe said that he had to play in different positions in the last couple of weeks. Yes, of course, because since the game against West Ham on the 22nd of January, we have lost 3 strikers since then, with Anthony Martial, with Mason Greenwood, and even with Edison Cavani, who is injured again, unfortunately, and will be out for the next couple of weeks. And if then, on top of that, By then, Paul was still injured himself. If then players like Bruno against Tottenham or Scott McTominay are missing, then of course somebody else has to play in a different role. And if this is somebody like Paul, who is a flexible midfield player who can play 6, 8, even 10, then this is a normal thing.
Ralph Ragnick there reassuring that Harry Maguire will not be receiving the same sort of reception from the United fans that he did as when he represented England. And we are of course referring to the boos, but just touching a bit on Paul Pogba earlier as we came off that press conference. Now, Razif, you were talking about how you felt sorry for Pogba actually. Can you maybe elaborate?
I think it's tough for when you bring a superstar like him. When he came with so much expectation, kan? And different managers, been playing different roles. He couldn't find. And today, I think the comment was like undefined role. I think that's his entire narrative being in Man United. So it's just kesian he couldn't find his footing in actual Man U, like real Man U presence.
Betul. And then going back to Maguire now. I don't know, Faiz, what do you think? Do you think his future in United, especially as a captain of the club, do you think that's pretty secure? Sebab I feel like, even you guys were talking about it tadi, like since he came from Leicester, you know, for United, such a big club, such a big price tag, and he hasn't lived up to that expectation. But on the other hand, for the country, for England, he plays well because you said there's no price tag, right? So what is this with expectation? Because Pogba pun, you know, expectation turun, and then same thing juga dengan Maguire.
Yeah, but you always have to wonder if Maguire plays for like Chelsea, you know, has a solid defense.
Okay, fine. Kita tak bawa solo player ke Chelsea lah.
Not just Chelsea. Okay? Let's say Liverpool. Let's change.
The chair is red, by the way.
Let's say Liverpool. Let's say he plays for Liverpool. I think it would be a great player, you know, for club. And because United has this thing where they have this problem where they don't know what they want to do. So they come in different manager, different tactic. Sometimes change 3 at the back, sometimes 2 at the back. Sometimes Maguire wants to play striker. Sometimes he finishes like a world-class player. So that's the thing. Maybe some uncertainties at the club has to be established first. I think getting a manager properly first is number one, and maybe he gets his confidence back. You know, I think I believe that he still can be a world-class player one day. Yeah. But sorry, he is really a world-class player. I'm talking about one day. Yeah, and I know maybe his confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence.
I mean, I think the other day, we were having a conversation with Keith. And he said, just don't ever start with me.
Yeah.
The entire club is a bunch of clustered fun.
But this is England. You know every time they have this problem. Where even David Beckham was once being booed, being the villain and all. But they all do come back from nobody has ever not come back. And even John Terry, with all his incident, people do appreciate him. No matter what, for England, for Chelsea. So just give time to Maguire. Maybe just a bad patch for him right now.
Well, how much time do you give? Because I think this has been going on now for, I don't know, a good 2 seasons-ish, you know? I mean, in terms of like that trust between the fans and their club captain, right? Especially after getting, you know, those boosts. It was so major, kan? Macam it's all over social media. And then it didn't help. There was this video during training, kan? Yang I think they were playing, I'm not sure what passing the ball around. Rondo, that's the thing. And the ball came to him and he like didn't know what to do with it. And that's also going viral. So macam, it just seems like people have lost confidence in Maguire. So how does Maguire find that confidence back in himself?
I don't know. Like, I think if you really look into YouTube, the amount of Maguire videos of his mishaps,
and it doesn't
it's
help,
legendary.
You know what I mean? With social media and technology, it makes it worse.
You say when do we give until when we give a time? This is modern football. Modern football is all about they want results now. Okay? It's not like back in Ferguson's time. Ferguson's time, he can take 3 years, can make the club bottom of the table, but still win it. This is modern football, exactly. So when do we give him a chance? I have no idea, but I really hope he does come back from it. And yeah, modern football is social media. Social media is like plays a big part in all this. And I believe that players today has to have this big, strong mentality, which I believe that the young players are lacking. A bit.
Maybe that's where he can use his defense too.
Oh, ouch! But so having said that, do you not then see his future in United like secure as a captain? Because maybe if you remove the captaincy, he can somehow, there's no more pressure kan, then maybe he can like
But it's
perform
funny.
again.
But it's funny that once upon a time, De Gea was the captain, and then suddenly he was stripped the captain. But now he's performing really good. People keep saying give back him the captain armband. So if you maybe I don't know, just do that for whoever's performing.
Yeah.
Give back to De Gea. Let's see. Maybe Maguire performs without the captain armband.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
one of the things I used to say about Maguire was like, sometimes he is being put in a position that he is the most exposed. I think this was 2 seasons ago when he got bumped by Salah on a run.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone remembers that. And that was a telling, like, this is actually how exposed this guy is. Sometimes when the defense or the midfield just doesn't help to support him before the line comes in, right? So it's just, it only comes with 2 things. Number one, is Maguire an effective communicator when it comes to the defensive end? And the second one is he really the man for the job?
Yeah.
So,
I guess we'll have to wait and see when the new manager comes in, kan? But how about in your experience, guys, if in NBA, does this happen as well? Like, do players get booed often?
My team is Knicks.
Yeah.
We boo all the time.
You boo your players all the time.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
how did
I
you
don't
do
even know where to start.
So I'm guessing, macam, because it's so normal that the players don't take it too hard, lah.
No,
Is it?
I mean, it's really hard on them. Like, on a recent press conference, we had so New York had the press conference, and one of the players was Julius Randle. Julius Randle was considered as the marquee player currently because he won an award. Last season, we won the playoffs. So this season, he couldn't even want to bring his kid to the game because the kid's too small to understand what's happening. Like the father gets booed, such a toxic environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's even harsher, especially when you're a marquee player for that club. Yeah.
And I guess people sometimes tend to forget that, like, footballers are real people too, right? And who have feelings, and they're not just the personalities you see play on the pitch. They're not robots, lah, or there's FIFA, like a FIFA animation when you play the video game, kan?
I like it. Like one of the former NBA players, Charles Barkley, said, I don't believe that athletes should be held as a higher moral kind of person. You know what I mean? They're humans too. So if they do get criticism and behave like human, I think it's okay. It's normal.